The Charlotte community in mourning after one of the city's darkest days in recent memories. Tributes continuing to pour in overnight as our city mourns the loss of 4 law enforcement officers, 4 U.S. Marshals and 1 CMPD officer. And we know 4 other CMPD officers are recovering this morning in the hospital. The horrific scene unfolding just about 16 hours ago when gunshots erupted in an East Charlotte neighborhood.
They bust. Oh my God.
The scene leading to major road closures at the time, modified lockdowns for students, and families left sheltering in place. Our live team coverage continues this half hour. Kia Murray and Destiny Richards standing by with what we know about the lives lost. But let's begin our coverage with WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane. He's live in that East Charlotte neighborhood near the home where this all went down. Richard, what's the latest on this investigation?
Good Tuesday morning on what is a somber Tuesday morning for everyone in this community. I'm standing just up the street from where this incident all unfolded. I'll step out of the way. You can still see officers on the scene, as officers we've known throughout the morning have been checking that area, continuing to look for any evidence, trying to put something together to understand how this tragedy unfolded. Now, it all started Monday afternoon in East Charlotte here when gunshots rang out. This on Galway Drive as the U.S. Marshal's Fugitive Task Force attempted to serve an arrest warrant on Terry Clark Hughes Jr. This for possession of a firearm by a felon. According to CMPD, when officers approached the house, that's when Hughes opened fire. Officers returning fire, killing Hughes, but as they approached him, Chief Jennings says someone from inside the house started shooting at them, injuring officers who had rushed in to help. After a tense standoff, the police took the 2 women inside the house, a woman and a 17-year-old, away for questioning, leaving everyone here numb and shocked at what had happened.
That we were serving the warrant on was the individual who fired the initial shots and was deceased in the front yard at the end of all of this. We're trying to determine now what exactly occurred inside of the residence.
And that's why they're talking to those people they have in custody. Tragically, ironically, I'm standing less than the 1/7 of a mile away from where the last 2 officers who were shot and killed in the line of duty, Officers Clark and Shelton, were just up the road here, also in East Charlotte. A community still dealing with that tragedy, now dealing with this one. We're right here in East Charlotte. Richard Devane, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and we're going to have a whole lot more on that case that happened some 17 years ago that so many of us, Richard, remember as it unfolded. More on that in just a second. Well, this morning, several neighbors and witnesses are catching their breath after what was just a heart-stopping day for these folks. Today, 4 elementary schools will welcome students back to the classroom after the gunfire forced modified lockdowns for hours. WCNC Charlotte was able to talk to some of those neighbors during the standoff as it happened. They told us police in the neighborhood was really nothing new, but they have never heard anything like what unfolded yesterday afternoon.
I asked somebody who was on the street what happened, and he said they're shooting, somebody's shooting. So I came out and went to Shannon house to get into the neighborhood, because my house is apparently in the middle of the center of all of this. So coming across Shannon house, the police stop all traffic. You can't turn, you can't come down the plaza, anything. So SWAT, everybody starts coming. Apparently SWAT is pulled into our driveway. From the cameras we can see the police are getting out their car with their guns drawn.
I heard 3 shots and I was like, all right, somebody's shooting. 30 seconds later, I heard like 7 shots. And I was like, dang, maybe they got a new gun. 30 seconds later, I heard like 10 shots.
A day those neighbors will never forget. And as those neighbors express concerns for crime, they say they are also sending prayers for those who lost their lives. That scene, unfortunately, turning deadly for 4 heroes, helping keep their communities safe. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards picks up our team coverage with details on who these officers were and the legacy they're leaving behind. Destiny.
Good morning, Ben. We're still waiting on an update on the 4 CMPD officers who are recovering from injuries at Atrium, Maine, but 4 law enforcement officers tragically killed, 3 of them a part of the U.S. Marshal's Fugitive Task Force, and one of them was a CMPD officer. If you'll take a look at your screen, we know some information about them. Alden Elliott was a 14-year veteran with the North Carolina Department of Adult Correction. He's survived by his wife and 1 child. Sam Peloche was also a 14-year veteran of the NCDAC. He and Elliott were both full-time members of the U.S. Marshal's Carolinas Regional Fugitive Task Force. Peloche is survived by his wife and 2 children. Another U.S. Marshal has yet to be identified. And then late last night, CMPD announced that Officer Joshua Iyer died at the hospital from his injuries in the shooting. Now, Officer Iyer worked with CMPD's North Tryon Division for 6 years, and he is survived by his wife Ashley and a 3-year-old son. CMPD recently awarded Iyer with an Officer of the Month award for April. Chief Johnny Jennings acknowledged that at a press conference last night, saying he dedicated his life to protecting his community.
We'll always be indebted to Officer Iyer for his bravery and his sacrifice for this profession. I ask that you will keep him and his family and all of the others that fell victim this afternoon. Keep everyone in your prayers.
And as for those 4 CMPD officers still recovering, we're told from Atrium, Maine this morning that CMPD would provide an update on their condition. At last check yesterday, they were in stable condition. I remember watching the presser yesterday afternoon, Chief Jennings saying their injuries were really ranging from everything from a grazed bullet to some injuries that needed more attention. But he did say they were in stable condition. We'll bring you an update once we learn more. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Destiny, thank you. Of course, speaking to officers over the years, nothing shakes the department to its core quite like losing one of their own. Well, officers being shot and killed in the line of duty is luckily a rare occurrence here in the Queen City. Kia Murray joins us right now. And Kia, the last time this happened nearly 20 years ago, so many of us remember that case. I had just gotten off the anchor desk. The whole community glued to the trial and then the eventual conviction. And that shooting just about a mile away from yesterday's tragedy.
That's right. So I want to take you guys back to 2007. That's when 2 CMPD officers were killed while responding to a domestic dispute at the Timber Ridge Apartments in East Charlotte. Officers Jeff Shelton and Sean Clark were both shot in the head during a struggle with a suspect in the parking lot. That suspect, Demetrius Montgomery, was charged with their murder and sentenced to life in prison. It has also been a long time since a U.S. Marshal was killed in the line of duty as well. So take a look at your screen. This is U.S. Marshal Chase White. He was shot and killed in Arizona in 2018 while serving a fugitive warrant. Deputy White left behind his wife and 4 children. Now, after yesterday's deadly shooting, community reaction is pouring in for the families affected by this tragedy. And guys, of course, we're going to keep you updated with all the reaction that's coming in and all the details as we learn them. Sarah, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Kia, thank you. And as we continue to learn more about yesterday's events, we'll share those updates both online and on the WCNC Charlotte mobile app.